everyone, it's Brittany Renner. You might have seen me here, there, everywhere. I don't care. Nyla, we need to talk.
What's going on, guys? Nyla Symone here with another episode of We Need to Talk, and I have a very special guest with me. I'm actually not in my studio. I'm in LA, and I'm with Brittany Renner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm happy you're here.
I'm happy that you decided to bring me in. Sit down and talk to me, chat up a little bit.
Of course. Was that a British accent?
I don't know where it came from.
You know?
Sorry.
That was pretty good. I wish I could participate, but I am horrible. Like, it's like not even... Carry on. What was I going to say? How are you feeling?
You know, life is a roller coaster, but I got my hands up. How are you?
I'm good. Honestly, same.
Yeah.
My hands aren't up right now, though. They
Still
hold on for dear life, honestly. You know, it's Valentine's Day in LA.
Yeah.
I'm working. I'm happy to be working, though. I
Yeah.
love working, so. And I'm just...
Did you have a Valentine?
Yeah, I got a Valentine.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No?
No.
I find that hard to believe.
These men do not understand my value, so I have to be on my own until then.
I understand that. I love that for you, actually.
Yeah. So I'm just being patient.
I have to say, you know, you are so like vulnerable and transparent in your park car conversations with yourself. And I'm like, I appreciate your honesty because there's a lot of things that I can relate to or I can like sympathize with. But it's like, what makes you really want to talk in front of the camera?
When a message is on my heart, I have to deliver it. Not everything that's on, like, not everything that I learn and the wisdom or whatever lesson I obtain that I feel like I need to share. But when something's on my heart, I have to share it. So it's like when you learn a lesson, you have to pass it on. So it's like when I'm like, okay, someone's going to benefit from this today. Let me go ahead and set the phone up in the car and get to talking.
Do you get a lot of like feedback like, I'm so glad you said that? And
yeah, I do. And even if people are like, why are you sharing this? It doesn't matter because there's somebody out there that benefited from it. So yeah. But when I feel called to share something, I just share it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And you share a lot. Yo, you really share a lot. I'm so serious. Like, I got to give it to you because I don't know if I could ever be that comfortable.
Yeah.
Just because the world is so cruel, you know? But you really handle yourself very well.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Like even, I mean, from like IG comments to other podcasts you go on, you articulate yourself well. And it's like, you know, I think a lot of people have a perception of you, but they don't really like, if they actually sit and listen to the human being that you are, it's like, yeah, she actually makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even when you do mess up, you apologize. But I did want to ask you, like, as a woman and a socialite, do you find it that, like, do you find other women embracing you and relating, or do you find them more so like shaming?
I think there's a little bit of both, regardless of gender. And I will say that I've never actually like apologized for anything because I don't do apology tours, right? So like I own my shit. I'll tell you, like I'll denounce things that don't, you know, resonate with me anymore, but I don't apologize. But it's a toss up. It's if you can't relate, you can't relate. Then this message is not for you, you know. So it's a toss up.
But more so. Would it be one or the other?
I don't read my comments. I don't search my name on Twitter. You know, when you comment on Instagram and the people you follow are at the top, I'll read all the way until then. Unless I'm feeling frisky and want to scroll down. I usually don't though, because why? Like, why? You know, it was on my heart to share. I'm just going to trust that. I don't need validation. Like the truth doesn't need to be validated. So that's why I just kind of put my message out there and let the masses and the shark just attack, you know, whatever's going to be attacked.
Do you feel like a sense of like release when you do it? Kind of like instead of writing in a diary, it's like you know what I mean?
I mean, it's like I trust the intuitive nudges I get because again, like I don't share every observation or perspective that I gain, but when I do feel called to share a topic, I do. So there is a sense of relief because I'm not resisting that intuitive nudge, you know?
And so many people do. Seriously. I think the last clip that I saw of you where you were saying about wanting to feel valued versus
desired
attention
and
yeah, and then you, like you said earlier, like no Valentine today because these people don't know my
Mhm.
value. So what are some things that I guess you have been implementing for yourself that's like your new standards?
I'm not entertaining meaningless conversations. So whether that's text message or FaceTime, I do not entertain men out of boredom. I have been on a pussy strike since October.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, and I'll go the rest of 2023 if nobody wants to act, right? And not seeing people through the rose-colored glasses anymore, because I think a big part of me was like, maybe if I just hang on just a little bit longer and get to know him and put forth more effort, then maybe I'll get a better outcome. But a lot of guys, I'm learning, he's just not that into me. So I just take the message for what it is. In their actions, you can typically tell how they feel about you. So I don't fight that anymore.
Two things. So you talked
Okay.
about the meaningless conversation thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes, especially when you're used to just always having comfort, whether it's actually like a physical person or just the call, it's really hard to disconnect from that. Like,
is.
have you found, I guess, like, have you found a way or like a tribe that helps you overcome that feeling?
Um, no, I think I just have accepted that I'm entertaining something in the short term that I have no desire to really water for the long term. So it's like, why would I lead this person on or entertain them for, out of boredom when these are someone's feelings that are involved? So for me, it's like, yes, it's waking up to no text messages and not having a Valentine on Valentine's Day. But I think it's for the greater good of us both, because I don't want to lead anybody on, and I don't believe in wasting anybody's time either. And typically after like one conversation, I can kind of tell if this guy is into me or I'm just wasting my time.
Okay.
One time.
After
One conversation.
one?
Absolutely. Because the questions that they ask and the questions they don't ask.
Mm.
There is a curiosity that I'm seeking. And if you don't naturally have it, it's because you don't care. You don't care to know. I know me, I don't have all the answers, but I got all the questions. And I'm getting into your favorite color the first time, first day. So
Do you think that some people, or I guess some men, try to maybe play it cool so they don't want to come off too strong with you? You know?
no, I just think they genuinely do not understand my value and they're just not that into me. I would love to give myself more credit and be like, oh my God, I'm so intimidating and like they're scared of me. And then it's like, that doesn't really solve anything. And that's not necessarily true. My guy wouldn't be like, my person would not be intimidated by me. But no, I genuinely feel that whether there's a lack of like self-confidence, a belief in themselves, like you couldn't be my guy.
Mm.
Because I'm very open-minded. Like whether it's the trainer at the gym, or a rapper, an athlete. I'm giving everybody the same opportunity to showcase what they got.
I love that.
Yeah, it's usually they're just not that into me. Not seriously, they want to fuck, but who cares? Like everybody wants to jump in the bed, but who wants to really know my favorite animal and why?
Yeah. Who wants to really build something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the other thing that you mentioned was like the pussy strike that you're on. I feel like, well, I don't know. For me, after like 3 months, it gets easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
a month 4. So yeah, like I said, I could go the rest of the year like this.
No problem.
Because the thought of a man who doesn't value me over top of me,
man,
makes me want to vomit.
You're really strong and disgusted on men right now. It feels like.
No, I love men, but the idea of not respecting myself makes me want to throw up. And I've never felt like that because I've never respected myself.
Okay.
So yeah, I've given men my body that didn't deserve it, and it was what it was. But the thought of that now literally makes me want to puke. So I'm okay off of meaningless sex. Like, sex without some type of bond or love is just exercise at this point. And I work out, so I don't
work. You don't need the extra.
I don't need the extra.
Nah, I feel that. I think I love that for you. What would you say is like the turning point that made you feel like, nah, enough is enough?
I just didn't like the way that I felt the last time I had sex back in October. I didn't like how I felt. I felt used. I felt disgusting. I felt like, what did I gain from that? What was the point of that? Where am I going? What am I doing? And really kind of calling myself out on my bullshit. So once I started to do that and interview myself and peel back those layers, I was like, my actions are not aligning with what I'm wanting. Yeah, I'm sending a mixed message.
What made you take that accountability on for yourself? Because I feel like there's a lot of women who are kind of in the same cycle,
absolutely,
but don't understand that the cycle they're in is toxic.
Because I wasn't getting what I was wanting. And a lot of times people don't address what the reality is, because if they did, then radical change would be required. And I was in a place where I'm like, well, I know what it's like if I go left, right? And I do this, that, and the third. But I have never done this. I've never made people court me, you know, really get to know me, take my time. And I've never done that. So why don't I try something different? Because this isn't working. So just like admitting that what I have been doing has been a fail. And I want commitment. I want a man. I am a one-man woman. So how do I plan to get that if I'm just hopping in the bed with just anybody's son? Like, that's not going to work.
No, I get it. Totally understand. I will say, when you said that you don't apologize or take back anything that you
no
said.
apology tours, baby.
What I meant was, well, you didn't apologize, but you addressed the fact when you said in the car about the athletes, they're dumb and they don't wear condoms or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I remember when you first posted that video and all my friends was like, yo, like this is da-da-da-da. And I'm like, dang. Did you realize, like, when you do things like that, the impact that it has on, like, other girls who might not even know you personally, but just want to have the followers or they want to have the relationships that you have? So they take it as in, like, so this is the way. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving them a rule, like a guide, kind of.
Well, in the video in its entirety, why I was talking about that was I was stating if I wanted to have a baby for all of the wrong reasons, I could have already done that. Yeah. I could have had several by now. So in an attempt to make a group of people look bad, which were the athletes in this example, I made myself look even worse. So it wasn't necessarily like, hey, you guys, here's the keys. Like, here's if you want to be a gold digger, here's this and that. I had my child when I was 29. I waited. And I was patient. I had a baby with someone I thought I was going to spend my life with. So when I said that in the car back in 2018, kidless, I was 26 at that time. And like I said, I was trying to defend that people were calling me a gold digger. And again, I just made myself look even worse trying to defend myself. So did I understand that it was going to age badly? No. I mean, yeah, I had a baby by an athlete, but that athlete I loved and I thought I was going to marry. But no, I've never, not in one interview, not in a single tweet, I have never claimed to be a city girl. I have never been like, oh yeah, let's finesse these guys. Let's I've always been a lover girl. Now I may have a funny way of showing it publicly. I'm learning.
I was going to say, because it feels like you like to play into things.
It's a defense mechanism because a part of me doesn't want to show how vulnerable and sensitive I am. I would rather, at one point in time, not present time, at one point in time, I would rather you see me as a succubus whore that didn't give a fuck about anything than a sensitive girl that cries in the car after she does a video. Like, where's the strength in that? And I had a lot of shame with being so sensitive. So it was just a defense mechanism to protect myself. Like, you understand when people get in the comments and you're on a public platform and people criticize everything you do, like, how are you to protect yourself? You have to have endurance with this shit. So I created this armor and this wall. And in all actuality, I created this wall that protected me, but it also kept the love out. So nobody could see me for me. I was never allowing myself to be loved or seen in that way. And then I just looked like a villain, evil bitch.
I really hate that you said that, like, you can't be seen as a sensitive person, because it's like, we're women.
I know.
And even if aside from being women, we're just human, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, and even now you're more vulnerable and we see that.
Yeah.
And I think it's good because it's relatable, but it's like, I hate that you felt like that at a point in time.
I do too. I hate that I felt like that was the way to protect myself because I wasn't allowing love in. So it's like people are judging. Why people hate me is a facade I created. It's a Frankenstein I created. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, hold on. If you guys aren't gonna like me, despise me for me being me. Like, don't dislike me for
The bullshit.
a character that I leaned into. Again, I take full responsibility. Like, nobody told me to do that. Nobody said I had to do that. So it was just my way of protecting myself. Like, I had been on social media, on Instagram specifically, since July of 2012. I didn't know any other way. And it worked for me up until probably a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, when I decided to choose myself. So it just didn't work anymore. I'm like, yeah, not like this. I want to be loved and seen for who I am. So how can I do that if I'm only showing the parts of me I'm comfortable with? Only regurgitating like what's comfortable for me. Like sitting in interviews and only talking about stuff I'm comfortable talking about. That's not true vulnerability.
Right.
Because a half truth is a whole lie. So it's like I'd rather just tell the whole truth. If people don't like it, then I can sleep at night, but not playing up a facade. That I'm shortchanging myself,
Have you always been this like authentic or
No.
no?
No, of course not. Like literally probably up until I don't even really know what day. I would say the summer of 2021 that I began my journey of like, okay, I'm choosing me. And when I chose me, everything in my life got harder. Every obstacle was thrown in my way. And I'm like, why did I choose me again? Like, this is a lot harder than the life I knew living a lie. But
but
it's
more intentful and
it's like I want like having a child and leading by example. I wanted to follow my heart. I wanted to live in my truth. And that included like my whole truth, not just the parts that I was comfortable with. So this is more of a recent change in the past year and a half. So I joined social media July 2012. I have a lot of ground to cover. I gotta show people, hey, like this is actually who I was under the circus tent, So it's gonna take some time, but I'm here and I'm showing up. That's all I can do.
That's all you can do. And I think like it doesn't really matter if the whole world totally buys into you or buys into the new you. Some people want to keep you where you're at, but as long as you're growing, that's all that matters.
And I can sleep at night knowing that they're just like not buying what she's selling. Okay, cool. Because all I did was show up authentically. So if it wasn't good enough, I can be at peace with that.
And honestly, it's sad because people just love only the negative shit. Like people hate to see you try to do better for yourself.
Yeah, they're like, go back to your box, whore. Like you don't get to get out. Go back.
Okay, now I'm gonna get into some more personal questions. Okay. What would you say you love the most about yourself?
Of course, I'm going to say my mind. I'm going to say my curiosity, tenacity, resilience. Those are my favorite things.
Resilience is key.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of these are fill in the blank. The older I get, the less I
tolerate coonery and buffoonery. I'm sick of that shit.
I can't actually believe I blinked when I was younger.
There's a few things. I can't believe I gave my body to so many people, not understanding my value. I'm still working through that, but
it happens.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'm a little embarrassed by the fact that I know so little about blank.
My first thought is math.
Math?
I'm not good at math. But I'm going to say math for the first answer. The second answer is I wish I was able to understand more just about men in general and like how they think and why they don't want to go deeper. Like I wish I could understand their psyche more.
Yo, I'm actually reading a Bell Hooks book right now. The title of it. There's two. I just finished All About Love, and then she wrote a second one that's more about the men perspective. Mm-hmm. Oh, men and the willing to change.
Oh, I need to read that one.
I think it would be really insightful for you. But yeah, I'm gonna send you the link.
Okay.
I would die without blank.
My first responses are really childish, but
What?
I would die without. I want to say social media, my phone. No, but honestly, the real answer would be love. Whether that's platonic, family, romance. I would say romance is my biggest inspiration in life.
Really?
I don't want to do this life without a partner. I don't. It's not an ideal world. If someone was like, today, hey, you're never going to have a love of your life. I don't know how to make it.
You know, I almost feel like, well, I guess because you said romance. A partner, sure, I understand. But romance is kind of like, I feel like that comes on and off.
Well, yeah, I feel like certain feelings are fleeting, right? But I think for me is I do want like a partner in crime. Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, but I want a partner on the right side of law and order, you know. But I do want someone to share this with. Like I just don't feel like it would mean as much if I didn't have that. People probably would never think that about me, but I've always been a lover girl. That's all I've ever wanted.
What's your sign?
I'm a Pisces, baby.
Oh,
What are you?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yes. Nah, that's understandable. I think we all are looking for, or, you know, someone to spend our days with. Do you want to be married?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I and for me about marriage is like, it's not even about like we have to sign the paper. I don't even really know what it's about because like a part of me is just like, I love the idea of the ring, the ceremony, all that stuff. But like, would I have to sign a piece of paper to be married? No. But then the other part is like, well, what's the point of ever getting married then? You know, you could be in a situationship your whole life. So I'm open-minded. I'd sign a prenup, whatever. I don't care. It's not about the money.
Okay.
I'm open. But, you know, I haven't met that guy.
Yeah.
Whatever he is.
If you're watching this.
Right.
Understandable. You'd sign a prenup? I guess I would too.
Yeah, I think you would.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, okay, like.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it's really not. It'd be different. I was banking on the money, like, whew, I don't know if I can. I need half.
Understood. All right. So sometimes I look back on my life and blank.
Two answers come to mind. Feel ashamed and feel empowered. And two things can be true at once.
Yep.
I think at one point I was ashamed of the things that I've done. And then the other side is like, well, I wouldn't be here if I never went through that. Like, what could I teach you if I was perfect? You know? So both of those.
That's real. An ideal world for you would look like what?
Like for the world at large or just me?
For you personally.
Incredible career, incredible home life, incredible lover, romantic partnership, and helping the world in an incredible way. With my voice.
You say, if you had to do or pick a career, like what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh my God.
Because like, you know, we've seen you go through phases in life and like what you're doing. What did you want to be when you grow up and where do you see yourself headed within the next year or two?
Well, I always, before I was more aware of what was going on in the world, I wanted to be an orca trainer. I love killer whales. It's my favorite animal.
That is the most random.
I loved Free Willy. I love orcas. That's my favorite animal. So I always thought I wanted to train orcas, but I know SeaWorld doesn't necessarily treat them the best. So I'm against captivity and all that stuff. But I would say now I'm very open. Radio, talk show, host, actress. I think those are my top three. But I think in any way that I can share my well of wisdom, whatever platform that is, that's what I want to do.
I love that.
Because it's like, why did I learn all this if I can't share it, you know?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
I think so. Radio, podcast,
talk show,
actress. I like that. What would you name the show?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
Would you, what would the theme be?
We could talk about anal sex. We could talk about life's traumas.
Anal sex?
Absolutely. Nothing off limits.
Well, I don't think that would be the best for radio. I will say that.
Okay.
Maybe at night. You'd have to do like a 10,
the late
11,
night.
12. Yeah.
Uncut.
That's funny. Okay, so what are you done with the fitness?
I mean, who cares? Like, oh my God, like so many people can tell you how to do a push-up. Like, why do you want me to show you how?
So many people can tell you, but people know you for being mad fit.
I'm not interested in talking about push-ups, girl.
You're over it.
I'm over it. I'm gonna work out for me. And if I decide to share something, okay. But no, I feel like my voice is more impactful than look at my body. Especially like after having a child. Like I feel like I've been trying to find my footing, get comfortable again in my body.
But honestly, that's why I was gonna say it could be a thing because there's a lot of women during postpartum that are really struggling to find themselves again.
Yeah, because your titties are saggy, you have stretch marks, you done sat on your ass for 9 months.
I don't want to laugh at that.
I'm sorry. I mean, it's the truth. That's why it's funny. Like, so it's a lot changes. So, and as somebody who, my body has been my moneymaker for a long time. So going from having like this, I mean, to be honest, I always felt like my body was perfect. And then I gained 50 pounds during pregnancy, eating McFlurries every night, fuck. It's been a challenge, a journey, finding my footing in fitness and like being consistent in the gym. It has taken time. Like the snapback culture is like super unrealistic. And I feel like people should definitely unsubscribe to that. Because I'm like, I was in great shape before I had a baby, but I was 29, gained 50 pounds, had McFlurries every day, didn't work out, and it's taken some time.
I feel like you're still in really good shape.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been in the gym, so but yeah, I give my body grace because I pushed a whole human out this power portal. So.
Crazy.
Yeah. Second degree tear, by the way.
No.
TMI.
Oh my God.
Sew me up, baby.
Wow.
Virgin again.
How long did it take to heal?
Probably about, it was longer than the typical time, probably about 8 or 9 weeks.
Wow.
I was not even turned on at the idea of sex. I'm like, I'm ripped. Like, don't touch me. Leave me alone.
That is, woof, I don't even want to think about
That's love. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot bringing a child into the world. But.
Yeah. What were some of your other go-tos about pregnant? McFlurries?
I feel like, I don't know if you ever remember, I don't know if you ever watched SpongeBob, but when Patrick was eating all them Krabby Patties, or when SpongeBob
at the table,
and they just were like vacuuming all this stuff. I can't remember which one it was. I just blanked. But I feel like McFlurry, like McDonald's was my kryptonite. Dang. And I have not eaten any fast food starting 2023. That was one of my resolutions. But whoo, that ba had me. I'm talking every night. I need that large fry and that M&M McFlurry immediately.
No, that is hilarious. That's funny. He's gonna grow up and probably love McFlurries. Not even.
He loves like cookies and chocolate. I'm like, I'm sorry, baby. That was my fault.
You did that one to him. Okay, what is one of the most important values that you want to instill in your son?
To follow your heart. It takes courage to do that. It takes a lot of faith in yourself. It takes a lot of faith in your divine path. And most people never do in this lifetime because they want to play safe. And your character is determined by the risks that you take, So following his heart, that's like the biggest thing. If nothing else, please just follow your heart.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's beautiful, honestly. Yeah. Are you concerned at all if following the heart isn't exactly what you pictured for him?
No, because I think one of the things too is being a mom, because again, like I like to challenge, especially like regurgitated narratives. And a lot of people look at their kids as their property. I look at my son as an individual that I have the opportunity to guide and to love, but to really help him along his journey. Like it has nothing to really do with me. I'm just here to nurture whatever he feels called to do, say, be. That's all I'm here for. I'm his mother. I'm not a dictator. So I love the idea of my son just like being who he is and it having nothing to do with, I just want for him what he wants for himself.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. Again, violinist, basketball player, accountant, whatever you want to be, I support him.
I love
I
that.
just want him to be happy.
Yeah.
Just be happy. Like, why be anything else?
That's so good. I can't wait to see when he gets older and hope that you're just this relaxed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the older they get, the more you guys have a bond and the more
Yeah.
you'll be like in his business. You know.
I mean, I think too, personally dealing with like a lot of like intrusive, or I should say like I guess like invasive moms. I would never want to be that for my son. And again, never say never, because a lot can happen between now and never. But I would like to think that I just trust my son's judgment enough. And again, he has his own soul blueprint. So whatever he's gonna do is already written. Like, why would I sit around and stress about what you're doing, who you're talking to, who you're dating? That's not my business. You know, it's like, he's just gonna have to be who he is and learn what he's meant to learn. And all I can do is just support him. That's it.
Yeah.
But like, stay out of his way and like let him do him. But that's just me. I feel like I don't agree with a lot of the narratives of trying to control your child and knowing what's best. Like, my son knows what's best for him. Like, all I can do is try to guide him, you know? But that's, again, whether he's 7 years old or 17, my son knows better for his life than I do, you know? Like I said, he may bump his head a few times, but he knows the way. I'm just here to remind him he knows the way.
I love that. That's really dope.
I trust his judgment. Even at almost 2 years old. He's going to be 2 in May. I trust him. He has a very strong personality, so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is it? Talkative?
He's very talkative. He doesn't really listen. But I love that for him, because he doesn't conform. Like, he's not just gonna listen.
You
like,
got yourself?
I'm like, no. And he'll just like throw it and not care and be like, ha, ha, ha. So I love that he just like goes to the beat of his own drum, and I'm like, oh my God, this kid doesn't listen. But
is he like you when you were a kid?
yeah. That's why I'm not mad. I'm like, sweetie, totally respect it. Throw that cookie across the kitchen. I don't care. I support it.
That is hilarious.
He's very independent. He has like his own autonomy, and he does things on his own time. And that's what I like. I feel like you don't want a kid that's super compliant, because it's like, you're going to take the candy from the van. Like, my son's going to be like, who are you? Why are you here? He's going to be more curious, like, and, you know, not probably take the candy from the mysterious white van with tinted windows.
Yo, thank God.
he ain't going for that.
Oh my God.
He's not super gullible.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love everything. What can we expect from Brittany Renner in 2023?
2023, I got my hands full. I love what you're doing, first of all. And I feel like you having your voice and your platform really just paves the way for other people to have their voice as well, because we all have our own lane, right? So I'm looking forward to having my own talk show, being able to share my perspective, create a safe space, just like you have for me. Like, I've had so much fun doing this interview and laughed a lot of times. So the talk show is my biggest thing, and kind of just trusting the process to that. I really don't know what's next for my life. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just following my heart for the first time, and I know it's not going to steer me wrong.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
It's definitely not. You'll be more than good. And you got a great team behind you.
Yes.
Is the team new for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We recently started working together, and it wasn't until I really aligned, I feel like, in my power and my passion, until they appeared. So the Brittany before wouldn't have been able to have a conversation and to see them for what they truly are, like the value that they have. So they believe in me. They got my back, and it's like, I trust them. I trust the path, and I just trust what our vision is and where we're going.
I love that. Because you mentioned earlier, I forget what it was, but you made a comment about it was about the car videos and being by yourself, and I was thinking, like, man, if she had a team, you know, they would take care of her, and you wouldn't have to be the first line of defense for everything regarding you. So
yes, and they're definitely like, you're bigger than car videos. You know, you don't have to do those.
Yeah, I don't think you gotta do that no more.
I don't think so either. But you know, everything is a process, and it's refreshing to even hear that, because that's all I've known. But you know, what got me here won't get me there. So I'm just trusting their guidance, what they see from me, what I see from me, and we're on the same page. So we'll see where we end up. But
I
I
love
appreciate
it.
you having me on
Yes,
your platform.
of
I
course.
love the questions you asked. You're amazing at what you do, and I just
Thank you.
appreciate you like sharing your energy with me today.
Thanks, Britt. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Until the next time we talk, guys, make sure you guys follow Bundles of Brittany still.
Bundle of Brittany.
Yes, make sure you follow.
Follow me.
Until next time, peace.